Previously on Dungeons and Drama Nerds.
So it has been a few weeks since our previous solve. It's September now, and everyone is anticipating the fall show at the Brindlewood Bay Community Players.
Yes, Lane is watching the CBS Sunday morning show.
And that's reminding her of the local director in town, Jones Galwa. The image all of a sudden turns from this kind of sexy, domineering force to a face that turns towards you, and it looks like he's missing an eye, is an empty socket oozing blood and pus.
Hi, I'm Eddi-Rue. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Jenna McAllister. I'm the new district attorney in town.
Ah, shit, are we under arrest?
Oh, you're seeing the show.
Oh, yes. Are you seeing the show?
No, I've just heard things, about the show. I know that Mabel took it in a whole different direction than Jones was, and they've lost, half the cast.
Well, now we gotta see this play.
That's based on a movie that came out about a year ago. That it's sort of a concept production of Hamlet that is based off of a movie that I'm not sure any of you saw called Scream. Jones Galwa, the man that you saw this morning with the missing eye, directs almost every single production that you have ever seen at the Brindlewood Bay Community Players. But you know that his name has been removed from this production. The person who gets cast in everything, Killigan Ernst, who is in his 60s, is playing Hamlet. From the other side of the curtain, you're just hearing screams and yelling and anger. You hear a shout from the latter being I am going as fast as I can, Mabel. And it is a 60-year-old Ginger Hale. She's been working at the theater for years as the light tech. And then you do see a stage manager. I'm Numo. That's who I... Liam Regent, who is the actor playing Claudius, as well as Hamlet's father, as well as many, many other things. He's killing it. In fact, the only person who's not killing it is Killigan, who looks like he's just kind of disoriented. And the entire cast is sort of waiting for him to finish this moment. A light falls upon his head from above. He is lying there on the ground. Lights are up. Holy shit!
Dungeons and Drama Nerds.
Hello, I am Meaker, and I am the keeper of this Brindlewood Bay campaign. So we're in this theater. Numo is screaming, holy shit, and he's run on stage, and he's doing this, and the entire cast has come out on stage, and so very quickly you're starting to see that this was not as many deviations as they had taken from the original Hamlet. This is not planned.
I think Doris is gonna kind of jump into action and go see if no one else knows first aid, she knows some first aid. / CPR, hopefully not needed, but who knows?
Is there first aid for a broken neck?
I'm assuming Demeter is paralyzed with fear, so I'm just gonna take a tissue and just dab some blood specks off.
And she's definitely, I love it. She's got blood on her face, and she's just and she's flabbergasted, traumatized. Jones is on his feet in the back lane. You can see that he's on his feet and he's running up. But Numo is there trying his best to do CPR. He's told Mabel to go call 911. He's on top of it, but the entire cast is standing there. And it does not look good. In fact, it does look like he is dead. And Numo finally does the whole lifting up, letting the arm drop. Yep, pretty sure he's dead.
I think Eddi-Rue is going to get everybody else, and we're all just going to I'm just going to say, all right, let's not gawk. And I sort of gather folks out into the lobby, just so we're not all standing over a dead body, right? And to give Numo space. And
Eddi-Rue has to pull Lane.
Oh, I'm not bothering with any of the Mavens. They can do whatever they want. It's really just
I am scribbling furiously now in my notebook.
Yeah, I'm just getting everybody else out and away as much as I can, right? To see and feel free to tell me if there's anybody that doesn't go with me. But it's let's not gawk, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Come. Let's give them some space. It's a horrible thing. Let's all, and I go out and I just open up all of the wine. And I'm all right. We're all going to sit here and we're all going to and I'm just going to start a kettle of tea, and cut up more fruitcake into little bits and say we're going to sit here. We're going to wait for the police. We're all going to do it together. That sort of thing.
Demeter and Ginger and Xavier all came with you. All of the cast, though, is in the other room with the other
They
Mavens.
refuse to leave.
Oh yeah, they're like, no, we are here. But Demeter and Ginger and Xavier are with you in this room, and Demeter is trying to protect people from eating the fruitcake because she already had some. So she's just like,
Sure. And I
oh,
just
thank
keep
you.
putting more pieces on people's. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I want to do a move or something. We got to start doing some moves. Is it nighttime now?
It is nighttime.
So we are in
We are
night
in
moves now.
We now have like an unsettling place to be in, so we can meddle. We can do lots of things.
And at least one of the lights is out.
Remind me, Ginger is out in the lobby now, correct?
Yeah, Ginger's out in the lobby with Eddi-Rue. So before we go back to the lobby, let's check in with Bebe, Doris, and Lane. What do you guys want to do? So Doris is definitely staying with Body because she's like, oh, I've got some EMT training. And like the hand went down and she's like, that's not going to help. Like Body's done. But the cast is all in there.
I just kind of wrote stuff down in my notebook of what happened really quick and just looked around and noticed everybody else was gone. So I'm like very slowly, like trying not to look like I'm gawking, but just very slowly making my way to the door just to see if anything else happens.
With like the faintest whisper of your tracksuit.
Yeah, it's just very gentle, like grazing along the seats.
Fantastic. Lane?
Lane is examining the light that is sort of fallen. I assume it's a par can, given this is a community theater.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing
They don't have legal money.
Yeah. The Source 4 came out in 1992. They're not going to have that for another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like an 8-inch, like it is a ridiculously large light.
Yeah. What Lane is trying to look for is like, what is the damage to this light and how far in was the clamp screwed? Like thinking of the gauge of the pipe.
Yeah, is there a safety? That
Fantastic.
broke? None.
Excellent. So yeah, you can see that the safety does look like it was not secured. So that's something. But you're also noticing that it appears like the bolts and everything else looks fine. So aside from the safety not being attached, everything else looks fine in this area anyway. But it does look like an old light. Like it has definitely been, slapsticked back together numerous times.
Other than the big dent in it now.
Yes.
I hung lights at the Williamstown Theater Festival when I was 20. I've been around this kind of thing before.
Fantastic. All right. So, Baby, you're heading out into the lobby. So as you get out there, Eddi-Rue is just pouring wine into everybody's cups, and they are continuing to overflow. And everybody just keeps like with the wine. What do you all want to do? What do you want to ask? You've got Xavier out here and Ginger and Demeter.
Remind me who Xavier is again? The other actor? No,
Xavier runs Boutique Antics, and he just looks like he was an avid patron to you. But if you remember from looking at the program, you do see that Boutique Antics was a sponsor of the show.
Sure, and probably donated a lot of the set pieces and things.
And probably some of the costumes.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm trying to name something that I fear, and I fear that the perpetrator will walk away, like will leave. It's very sort of like, I'm afraid of that. So like I am trying to like make sure to corral these people as much as possible by staying as calm as possible for fear of them going. So I'm like, and if people are like wandering away, I'm like sort of like grabbing them to have them come back and be like, no, we should all stay together. That sort of thing. I don't know if that's a real fear, but I'm more afraid that like that someone won't get questioned that needs to get questioned.
So are you doing that in lieu of meddling, in lieu of finding a clue?
I don't know. I feel like maybe that is. I don't know if that is meddling. I don't know how to. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to meddle in this situation beyond sort of like getting in the. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just like maybe by sticking my nose in everybody's business as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean you
to
can
see if anybody's not upset.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and roll for meddle, and then we'll play out the conversation.
Oh no, that's bad. I rolled a 3 plus At most 1, so a 4 is the best that I did here. My high roll mojo seems to be gone today.
Don't forget that you can put on a crown if you
maybe
would like to bump that up.
I think I'm gonna have I think I'm gonna do a crown of the queen. Yes, I'm going to flashback to. Do you know what I think this is? I think this is a scene in the present day showing a private side of you very few get to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's Eddi-Rue being sort of like really maternal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And actually like being good at taking care of people in distress, emotional distress. I think that's the crown I want to put on. So she sort of just to like instantly is able to be like getting everybody sort of like settled. Everyone just saw a man die, right? And so getting everybody settled and maybe talking telling some fun stories, but also just sort of like little hands on hands, that sort of thing.
Yeah, in particular, you can see that Demeter is very receptive to this because she hasn't said anything at all, and you can see that like her hands are shaking as she's like drinking the wine or trying to drink the wine.
Sure.
And Ginger looks like a deer in headlights, but it hasn't spoken yet either. But she at least has maybe seen people die before, not like this, but like has seen
Certainly
it.
not a light that she hung.
Yes, and Xavier is definitely appreciative as well.
Okay. And I feel like the clue, I'm looking for a clue. And is the director not there?
The director, as far as you know, is calling the police, but Jones is still inside the theater.
Jones, yeah, that's okay. So Jones is still in the theater. So I just want to keep everybody calm and maybe figure out if any, but they're all cool. All these people seem, then in that case, Ginger is the person that I probably would hone in on and be like, is there anything, just sort of like, how did that work? How did that go? Do you remember? Is that a weird light?
I mean, I no. I mean, they're not weird. I do my job. I do my job very, very well. I do my job very, very well. Like that's not what was supposed to happen. But I have definitely I've taped every light in this place back together with my own spit and gum for 20 years. Like, but maybe my spit is not as strong as it used to be. But I'm not careless. I was very careful. Lights fall. There is a saying in theater that if you're an asshole, a light will fall on your head. It's not like. It's like don't say Macbeth in the theater, right? So like maybe that's really what's going on.
Don't do that now. We
You
don't
just
need
did it.
extra luck.
Oh, all right. Well, it's a good thing we're in the lobby. All right. Well,
Isn't
we're
that
going
a
to figure this
saying?
out.
I've heard that saying, baby. You've heard that saying, right? You've heard that saying. That it's like if you're an asshole, the light will fall on your head. You've heard that saying, right? Because it's not my fault. Like I mean, my spit is very strong. My spit is very strong.
I've never heard that saying.
Darling, I trust your spit, but everybody in the theater's an asshole.
Do you say this in
That
front of
way,
Lane?
we'd all be dead. Yeah.
When you're right, you're right.
Ginger, did anybody else help you with lights or hanging or anything? Was anybody else on the catwalk?
I mean, not that I saw. I mean, I mean, this is going to sound so dumb now, but we did have an argument about how Killigan couldn't find his light a few days ago. We did have that argument, but I swear, that's not what's happening here. It's not what I did. I wouldn't have done that. And Demir's like, we know. Everybody fought with it. It's fine. And she's sort of coming back to herself, and Xavier is just like, well, if everybody fought with him, that's something. I mean, I've known Killigan for years, and he's always been a very nice man to me. And Ginger and Demeter just sort of exchange looks for a second.
Lane, it's giving a little bit of Phantom of the Opera in this moment, isn't it?
Well, it was a light that fell, not a chandelier.
Well, yes, obviously. I just think the parallels were a coincidence.
Well, the chandelier is supposed to fall in that one.
Lane, for God damn it. I'm going to take out a cigarette and just be like, do you want to take a step outside?
Who are you trying to ask to take a step outside?
Ginger. I think she needs to calm down.
Oh, Ginger. Great. Yeah. Fantastic. And Ginger, who yes, is sort of looking a little shell shocked. She's like, yeah. Yeah. Can I bum like 3? And
Of course. 3 packs.
she'll follow you out. So I did give you a clue there, Eddi-Rue, about the conversation or the argument about finding your light. And then let's check back in with Doris. Doris, you're around the dead body, as it were, with all of the cast, who all are just sort of sitting there, just like with their eyes like this big. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Patrice is like, I'm going to use this as a moment, I think, to like practice. And she like lays down on the set and just like tries to get very, very still.
Doris kind of just stares at her and be like, okay, how about everyone else? I think this is a good moment. Maybe we just move away. Like, let's all sit down. Like, let's just relax. Isn't the right word because of what just happened, but we can be calm. We can relax. So yeah. And I think Doris is going to try to like get everyone to like just like similarly to what's going on in the lobby, kind of stay in one place where we can kind of keep an eye on them. But also while she's trying to like sit everybody down, mitigate the shock, I think she wants to meddle to see if like what the gossip is on Killigan and what if anyone would have had a reason to off him in a dramatic way.
Fantastic. So you can see immediately that like Wendy is trying like hell to burrow herself into Numo, and Numo is like trying to like remain professional, and he's just like he keeps like being like I know it's sad, but like you said, yeah. And she's just like no, and she's trying to do that, and so he's sort of taking her separating from this group here. But Patrice and Liam are there, and they just Patrice is lying down on the ground, and Liam is just sort of looking down at her and looking at Killigan, and then looking at her, and then looking at you.
Who's Liam again?
Liam played Claudius. He's in his 50s. He's in everything too, but he's always the second fiddle.
Got it.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Mm-hmm.
Is Patrice pretending to be dead right now? Is she like...
You could ask her.
Well, I'm not in the room.
She's doing research.
I think Doris is going to go over to Liam and be like, is she always like this?
Oh, Patrice? Yeah, she's great, isn't she? I mean, just... very, and you can see that like he had like kind of a fake British accent going during the show, and now he's just like, oh fuck, I lost it. I always lose it. Cheerio. Yes, she's trying to she's Patrice, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? And she's just like, stop with the accent. It's not working. This is working. And she's just continues to lay there. And he's yes, she's getting into character. That's it. That's closer. She's getting into character, practicing her death.
I never understood actors. Liam, can you just? Was there anyone new backstage today? Like, this doesn't seem. Even if a light just happened to fall, it seemed very lucky that it hit someone square on the head. So I'm just curious if there's been anyone, I don't know, weird backstage lately.
Yeah, roll to meddle.
Roll to meddle. Do I add reason?
You can add whichever one you think makes the most sense. Yeah, reason I think makes a lot of sense. Composure makes a lot of sense. Presence make a lot of sense. Any of those things work.
Got it. I'll add reason. 6 + 1 is 7. I got different dice than last time, and it's still
awesome.
You want to put on that crown?
Yeah, I mean, probably. We love a crown.
Love a crown.
Let's see. I'll do Crown of the Void, Shadow in the Garden.
Woo!
Hereafter, during cozy vignettes focused on you or cozy move scenes involving you, you must also narrate how dark entities subtly reveal themselves in the scene.
Fantastic.
Neat.
I love it. Awesome. So Liam sort of stares at you for a second. He's like, new people. I haven't seen and he keeps trying to find the accent, and it keeps evading him. And he's like, I haven't seen any new people around here. But I do know that Mabel got a threatening letter. And Patrice is just like, please stop. I think I found it now.
The letter? You found the letter?
I found the voice. No, the letter.
Oh.
The letter. I think that she got a letter about this production. Yes, this production was not what people were envisioning, I think. And she got a letter because she had taken the theater in a new direction. You know, she had taken this whole production in a new... I lost it. It's a lovely way to pass the time, don't you think, the theater? Especially when one has so many interests. I will say that I was confused why Killigan was cast as Hamlet. I mean, had I known Jones wanted to go older, I might have thrown my hat in the ring, but I likely wouldn't have had the time, with between that and my store. You have been to my store because oh yes, you have that mouse. You've been to my store.
Of course.
My pet, my putty tat?
Oh, yes, that store. Yes, of course.
Yes.
I haven't been in a while, but it's lovely. It's lovely.
Yes.
Circling back to the letter. Did Mabel say who sent it? Was it signed? Because that seems like it would be pretty important.
Oh, it was not signed as far as I know. But you know how these things are. People get very worked up in the theater, don't they, Patrice? Yes, Liam, they do. Very worked up. There's a dead body just 5 feet away from her, by the way, just it's sitting there with the light on its head.
Thank you. Thank you, Liam. You've been very helpful, and I'll be sure to stop into the Putty Tat as soon as Mouse needs more toys, Toys.
Pet my Putty Tat.
Small.
Yes.
Sorry?
Pet my Putty Tat. You must use the whole name.
Of course.
Pet my Putty Tat. Yes,
I would love to pet your Putty Tat. Next time I'm by, I will definitely stop in.
We would love to have you.
Wonderful.
And Patrice just says, your name is stupid.
Patrice, you didn't see anything weird? You've been lying on the ground communing with the dead body. I mean,
you know what is weird? It's weird that I'm playing the mother of someone 10 years older than me. That's what's weird. That is what's weird. He's 20. He's ancient. Killigan was ancient. I mean, I know he's right there, and this is very whatever. But I'm an actor. This is what I do. I'm just an old act. C'est la vie. Maybe we'll do our town again. But with my luck, Killigan would have been cast as the stage manager and George and every other character in town. I did try to suggest that maybe we do an all-female version of Hamlet, but Mabel didn't want to go in that direction with Jones's cast. So what shall we do?
It seems like you and Killigan don't get along so well.
And Liam and Patrice look at each other, and then they look at Liam's dead body on the stage, and they just go, Killigan didn't get along with anybody.
I see. I guess sometimes you don't get along with people, and then things happen. I don't know. This is a lot. Thank you both. You've been very helpful.
Fantastic. Lane, where are you?
Since Lane has sort of checked out this light and sort of realized, this is the only thing that's not above board was the safety on it, has gone to again shadow Jones Galois and just see how he's reacting.
And as soon as he sort of sees you, he's just well, I did tell you I wanted to leave the theater. I mean, I guess that's one way to go.
Well, but he's leaving the theater. You're still here.
Yes. Yeah, I am still here.
Well, and, conveniently your name's not on the production anymore, so.
Well, I mean, as a consultant, yes.
The consultant doesn't necessarily take the fall for a dead lead actor.
Good point. I'm now sort of questioning why I stayed at all. I mean, I should have just probably left. I should have just left her to do this whole thing herself. I really should have, but I stayed, because I watched her grow up, right? Mabel, she's an adult now, and Helen wanted her to run the theater, I guess, but I couldn't, in good conscience, let the theater become radicalized, the lowest denominator, without some force for good in here. But now this has happened, and
well, this is pretty radical.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think Lane is going to sort of press a little more, and I this is probably a move, but sort of ask, could this have happened before everything went down?
Yeah, go ahead and roll the metal.
Yeah. Probably with presence, right?
Yeah.
Damn, Bones going today. That's an 11. 4, 6, 1.
It's 2 void clues I owe because I owe one to Doris as well. So gotta keep track of those. Fantastic. Yeah. So Jones just sort of looks at you. He's like, no, of course. I mean, this would not have happened before. This would not have happened before. You know, it's just, I mean, Killigan and I are contemporaries. I mean, you are contemporaries with me and Killigan as well, right? You know, and I know that he was an older choice. I know he was an older choice, but I knew that he could handle the role. And there are so few people in town who could have handled Hamlet, right? Of course. But, you know, there is this...
It's the easiest role in Shakespeare.
It's very easy. It's five monologues, and you saw him. I mean, yes, he called for a line a few times, but when he was with it, Lane, he was with it, you know? Anyway.
He seemed poisoned to me, but okay.
Poisoned?
He was delivering the monologue. The acting technique I would say he was using was inhaled a lot of carbon monoxide.
There's that wit of yours. I do like that wit. I do remember that wit. I do know that he got into quite the fierce argument with what do they call it? Drama specialist.
The dramaturg?
Dramaturg, yes, dramaturg. They got into a very, very big fight about the lobby display, right? Killigan thought it was crass. Very, very crass, you know. They got into quite the heated conversation, as I recall. He won. You know, it's not up anymore. So, he won.
What was it?
Oh, you know, it was bloody and had a lot of information about something called a final girl. I don't know. Whatever these things are, I don't know. It's just, she was quoting lots of things and putting a lot of information about here that had nothing to do with Shakespeare and had everything to do with this horror film that nobody cares about. So, you know.
Yell?
Shout? Yeah.
Stomp?
I think it
Something like that.
Something. Yes. Yeah. And Lane, while you're sort of talking to him, you get this overwhelming, like as he's sort of describing this lobby display, you get this choked up feeling in your throat. It's like this stench that has become lodged in like right in the center there of wet, decomposing plants. And it's just sort of like kind of clogging everything up as he's talking and like talking about this lobby display. And that is your void clue.
Interesting.
But then as soon as like you start to like kind of choke through that, it's gone.
Yeah, as he's describing this lobby display, Lane sort of gets like, you know, the like cartoon like following a pie smell like that, but for this wet decomposing plant stench that ends 30 feet in one direction in the middle of a room.
Yes. All right, let's cut back over to Bebe and Eddi-Rue. So let's go to Bebe because you're going to be outside smoking, and then we'll check back in with with Eddi-Rue, and we'll see if people want to come back together in a specific way so that we're not all separated. But Bebe, you're with Ginger, who is on her second or third cigarette and still hasn't said anything, but is just chain smoking them back to back to back. Her key is sort of jingling on her hip ever so slightly, and she is a little taller than you, but not by much. What do you want to do? What do you do?
I want to take a lap around the theater. I think let's walk away from the front door. We'll take a walk around because I have a sneaking suspicion that whoever did it might try to dip out the back if there is a back door. So we're just going to take a cute little lap.
All right. I'm going to make you do a night move.
Ooh.
So how that works is you will, when you do something risky or face something you fear, name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve, and the keeper will tell you how it is much worse than you fear. You can choose to back down or go through with it. If you go through with it, roll with the appropriate ability. So you're going to take this little tour around the building. Name something that you fear will happen.
I fear that we're going to run into someone trying to get out.
Great. So here's what will happen if you fail this roll. Not only will you run into somebody who's leaving, but more than likely one or both of you will end up seriously injured from an attack.
Stir the pot. Let's go.
Roll with the appropriate ability.
Composure.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah,
I feel like composure is fitting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Live fast, die young. Bad girls do it well. That's not the right song, but oh no. Oh no. What's my point for composure? It's not very high, is it? Oh, it's a whole 1. Great. All right, well, I got a 6.
Great. So yeah, as you are turning this corner around the building, this shadowy figure pops out of somewhere, and you are stabbed 3 times, baby. Or you can put on a crown.
Fuck. I kind of have to. I'm old. Do I have a life alert? I feel like that would be very helpful in this moment.
It's like the heart attack guy, but he's getting stabbed.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
I'm having a heart attack, rather than instead of like, I'm being stabbed.
Okay, let's see. Crown of the Queen, Crown of the Void. Oh boy. Flashbacks aren't going to help me when I'm being stabbed.
They might warn you from taking this trajectory.
I mean, I did work in medical insurance as a secretary, so technically this would be very on brand. Let's see. I think we're going to do a flashback of my dear old husband, Bill, who went missing in the war.
In the war, in quotation marks. Okay, so how does that flashback manifest in this moment?
To help save my skin?
Yeah.
You know how in the second Harry Potter movie, Hermione avoids getting killed by using a mirror to check the corners?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be Hermione right now.
How is that related to Bill in the war?
Because when Bill would leave, he would always just be like, you need to take certain steps. If you ever hear a noise in the house, don't walk straight into it. Make sure that you check around the corners, check for visibility spots. He's a military man. He's jaded. And I'm a tiny little frail woman that must be protected.
I love it. Yes. So you're recalling all of this memory to the fore as you're sort of checking around the corners. And lucky for you, because you have checked around those corners, you're not really seeing anything. You actually do see what you think is a shadowy figure in the distance, but when you turn the corner, it's gone. Almost as if it saw the light reflecting off of the mirror and ran in the other direction, maybe. Possibly, perhaps, but you're able to do a full sweep, and it looks like everything's secure, and it looks like maybe nobody has had the chance to leave.
Okay, I'm going to. Can I do a Maven move right now?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Fun fact for those of you listeners that don't know, you can actually make a DIY door lock out of a fork. This is a fun fact that I've learned, and we serve fruitcake, so I have a fork. I'm going to lock the back door from the outside.
All right. Well, if you're using your Angus MacGyver move, then we need to see what other people can offer you to make this whole thing together, right?
Hell
so
yeah.
When you improvise in a situation using whatever is at hand, ask the other players and keeper to name 3 objects you find in the environment. And then you'll give a plausible explanation about how you're doing this. So Doris, Eddi-Rue, Lane, what can she find in this environment?
Friends.
Well, the fork is great. That's one thing. I think that's my contribution. I think, listen, as the keeper of the fruitcake, you've certainly got very fine, sturdy flatware.
Big plastic bag of tie line.
Ooh.
I think like a big old cinder block that just chills outside the back door that people use to prop it open.
Amazing.
All right. So, baby, how are you going to put all of those things together?
Okay, so obviously we have the fork. What else? Is there anything else back there? Because the tie line, I'm thinking a little tripwire. What do you do in your spare time? No, nothing. Just think about different ways to set up traps.
Ginger's with you, and she's also got a lot of tools on her tool belt and her keys and stuff. And so she will help you do whatever you want to do.
Is there anything else by the door besides the cinder block? Is there like...
Oh, there's like an ashtray, like a big standing ashtray. one of those things. And it's
Perfect.
got sand in the bottom, right? Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we put the little ashtray, meow, center block, meow, tie line, meow. Perfection. We got the fork in the door to wang jangle the bejesus out of it. So that feels very good. 1, if the door gets opened, it has to be used by force. 2, the fork will drop. That'll make a sound. 3, the person will trip on the wire. Cinder block and ashtray falling down makes a lot of noise. Hell yeah, I'm crafty. Let's go.
I love it so much. And Ginger is just like, yeah. Are you single by any chance? As the camera's like sort of like pans away from you all as you continue your trek, and you can see that the ambulance is approaching. To finally the EMTs have arrived. So then let's do like a jump cut here. Eddi-Rue, Doris, Lane, Bebe, you're all together. What are you talking about? As the EMT is taking care of other stuff, and the police have said nobody leaves because we have to get statements and whatnot. So you all are finally together in a place, and you can share your information.
I tried to make some headway on who hated Killigan the most, like who maybe would have wanted him dead, but it kind of seems like he wasn't very popular with everyone. Although Patrice in particular really was really just going on and on about how much she didn't like him, and he gets all the roles and all these things. So she also laid down for a really long time, which could have been the shock, but also could have been hiding her involvement by being like, no, I'm just going to lay here. So I don't know. What did you guys find out?
Ooh, well, I found out a few things, I guess. Yeah, okay. There was an argument with Killigan about finding your light, made with somebody. I haven't seen Mabel. That's the one thing that I'm the most... She's the only one that I haven't seen.
Ooh, that reminds me. I heard also that Mabel got a threatening letter from someone who wasn't happy with the direction she was taking the production. Where is Mabel?
I haven't seen her.
Should we all go find her?
Seems like the logical next step.
Cue Shania Twain's. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go, girls.
Yeah, I think we all sort of like search the catacombs of the former church to find where Mabel may have gone.
Fantastic. So as you're sort of winding your way around, the Bert Halloran, Assistant Deputy Bert Halloran, does like shout at you all like, okay, but don't leave, right? You know not to leave. Nobody's allowed to leave, right?
We're old hat at this, Bert. We know. We know.
Okay, because Sheriff Dalrymple will be really upset if anybody leaves, so nobody leave, right?
I'm sure
Buildings
he will.
have multiple rooms, Bert.
Okay, but nobody's gonna leave.
Are you going to miss us?
No. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Yes, okay. We haven't talked to you yet, so we'll talk to you. We'll get your statement in a minute. Okay.
You write it down this time.
We took notes.
Great. Okay. Great. Fantastic. All right. And so then you sort of head off, and you can see that he is talking to Xavier Olsen, who is still looking very, very distraught. And Doris, as you're sort of like turning away from him, you do see that like it looks like he has a tattoo for a second, like on the back of his neck, almost like it looks like an eye of some sort. But then when you look again, it's not there at all. And that is your void clue. So you do find what appears to be Mabel's office. The door is closed.
I think we sort of like just quietly like listen before we open the door to hear if we hear anything. But then otherwise we try to open the door.
So you're just sort of listening there. Go ahead and roll to metal.
Rolling to metal.
Our
Ooh.
foreheads are all on top of each other, right? Like
Oh,
as
yeah.
we're-
Full on Three Stooges. It's Four Stooges.
I wanted to get you all back together for the visuals alone of these four old women being like, "Mer, mer, mer."
I feel like, would this be reason?
Makes sense.
Examining?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah? Okay. 7.
Okay. Yeah, so you've got your ear to the door, and you can hear on the other side just like the very faint sound of crying. It's very, very faint, but it's definitely this overcome emotional thing. But as you're listening very hard, you can see like in front of you that there's this trash can, and the trash can looks a little out of place. Like there's a hole in the floor, like a ring around the floor where it was supposed to be, but it's off by a few inches.
I think I say to Doris, well, let's see if there's something underneath it, maybe, or, you know.
And when you do, you discover that there is a full roll of black gaff tape at the bottom of the trash can, looking pristine.
Oh, something that would be very helpful in securing lights that has not been used.
It seems pretty wasteful to throw away something so expensive.
It's true, it's very expensive. Well, let's not touch it, ladies.
Does anyone have a baggie?
Baby.
Okay, I have the baggie. Okay. I literally have bags everywhere.
I was about to say,
For the
listen,
listeners,
yes.
Kory pulled a bag without standing up, just like into the frame.
And not just any bag. It looks like it's the kind of bag that you put your produce in. Oh no, it's like it's
bag.
just a plastic bag that was found.
But yeah, I have several bags of bags. There's one under my table.
Yeah.
Okay. Allow me. For everyone listening, just imagine that you have a dog and you're scooping up poop. That's how I'm trying to mimic this sanitary tape rescue.
Do we go in and talk to Mabel?
I don't think we should barge in. We should be gentle. She might be very distraught. What if we just crack the door open? And we don't want to cause any more stress.
I'll take out some fruit cake.
Snacks are always comforting in moments like
Yeah.
Did you bring any
Absolutely.
wine?
Did I bring any wine?
Okay, yes, good. Just one box of Franzia then?
I just imagine Eddi-Rue is carrying like several open bottles with her, and like indiscriminately chugging from each of them.
Just clank. Just. Oh, never stray from the bottle, darling. Never stray from the bottle. She has a glass.
We did have those very overfull glasses earlier.
Yeah. I'm imagining
Yeah.
we're all going to peek through the door, kind of like that Thanksgiving Friends episode where they all like,
Hello.
yeah, very much like that.
Hello.
Wait, how many glasses of wine have you had, Eddi-Rue?
Me? Just the
Yeah.
one. I've
Just the
been
one.
serving others.
Okay. Who's drunk? Is anybody drunk?
I didn't get to be by the wine very
Maybe
much.
if I did my job right and I put on the crown for it, I'd say everybody but us is drunk. Like, not for nothing. Like the goal, I think that very much was we got those people drunk.
It was not nearly far enough into the show to get drunk. You get drunk after Act 1.
It's true. Yeah, so I think we go in. I think we have to go in. We sort of go in and just sort of like gingerly like knock on the door, say, Mabel, and sort of like open the door and darling.
Yeah, and she's just like, "Oh, hi! Oh, forgot you all were here. I'm so sorry. And now you're stuck here until they finish with you. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
Well, it's not your fault, I'm sure.
No, I mean it's not. It's not my fault. It's honestly, it's Jones's fault for casting him. But whatever. It's fine.
Well, it sounds like you got Jones out of your hair now, so however that news will take it, there you are.
What do you mean out of my hair? Did he leave? He's not allowed to leave. No one's allowed to leave.
No, he didn't leave. He's going to leave the theater. As a craft, I mean. Not as a building.
Oh, well, there's no loss there, I suppose.
Everyone has their time.
But before all of that happened, did you like it?
It was very innovative.
Have some fruit cake. I'm glad that I gave it to you. I'm glad that we had it, that you brought it, that we had it available.
To be fair, darling, when you said horror, we're old. We definitely were expecting a different show before we showed up. But a delightful surprise until the actual surprise.
I no longer give notes.
You don't give note. I mean, I would love your notes, Lane. I mean, I've gotten plenty from Demeter, let me tell you. But aside from that, I just think I would love to know. I mean, if there's something.
You're new at the position, I understand. My notes are no longer welcome in this town.
Oh,
You
yes.
might not love the notes, is what we're saying.
I do remember my mother saying something to that effect. Yes, I do remember that. Yes. Wow.
Mabel, speaking of notes, not to bring up a sore subject, but someone was telling me you got a letter that was perhaps vaguely threatening, and I just was curious if you might know who sent that, because I just don't think Ginger would allow a safety thing to happen. I think there might have been another motive, so I don't know.
Roll to metal.
Come on, dice. Be better to me. I'll roll them one at a time. Oh, yeah. Okay. 11.
Excellent. Doris, you got the hot dice. Ginger has just been on my case forever about new lights, and we're going to get there. But no, I mean, it's not Ginger's fault. It's nobody's fault. And that note is just, the bigger problem, if I'm being perfectly honest, is the GeoCities page. Have you seen this? Have you seen this page?
No.
Well, don't look at it. It's bad. But the note is fine. People can disagree with my leadership at any point in time. They can disagree at any point in time. But some person behind the scenes has been posting on this GeoCities page about our production. And I wouldn't even look at it myself. It's just been very derogatory towards, to be honest, towards Killigan. It's not nice to speak ill of the dead, but there you have it.
And they've had information about the production before it's up, so presumably it's somebody involved.
Presumably, I suppose, but I honestly don't know who would do that. My mother never had this kind of problem, so I really just don't understand. And it's so rude, too. It's just I've changed the opening song so many times, and every single time they just keep changing the background music on this page. And so now it's Give Me One Reason to Stay Here. But before that, it was, I don't know, another 90s song that I'm now blanking on. I had a whole list in my head, and then they just all left.
But wait a minute.
An Indigo Girls song.
This was the first invited performance. How do they know what the opening music is?
Again, it's somebody in the cast, I think. It's somebody involved with the production, and it's been snarky as hell, so I assume that the threatening letter is also coming from, inside the house, as it were, from the person who made the GeoCities page.
So the letter was coming from inside the house.
That's what I think. My mother never had to put up with this kind of thing.
Has Jones been sitting in on a lot of rehearsals since he got demoted, shall we say?
Reassigned.
There we go. Thank you, baby.
Yes. He has been a huge help. He's been a huge help this entire time. Very helpful. That's why he stayed on as a consultant.
I've never heard of a consultant for theater. Lane?
Well, let's just say it is, let's just say.
Well put, Lane. Well put. Yes, let's just say.
Okay. Well, is there anything that we can do to help you right now? I know we are barging in and you're going to have a whole onslaught of questions, but all of that aside, this has been a very big night for you in many, many different ways. Is there anything we can do to help you?
No, not at the moment. The theater's not doing so well, and we have to open in 3 days. And so now I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to do that. So if one of you wants, Lane, I just had a brilliant idea.
Oh, no.
Cut 2.
Lane's making a comeback.
Oh my God.
Lane, would you? Oh my goodness, I can't believe this just occurred to me. But this is perfect, actually. Not perfect. terrible circumstance, obviously. But wouldn't it be wonderful? Just fantastic. You would be miraculous. And Patrice and I really did want to do an all-female Hamlet. You know this, right? We did. We had to stick with Jones's cast. We had to, but now we don't have to. So, oh my goodness, you and Patrice, you as Hamlet, her as Gertrude. Yes, she's still younger than you, but it will work. It would work. It would be 2 powerhouses meeting.
Lane has turned completely white.
I'm just like,
Lane looks to the other Mavens with sort of and puts an eyebrow up in like, can this be helpful?
Well,
Lane, I think it'd be wonderful. Isn't that so nice?
I think there'd be a lot of publicity involved in such a performance, you know, a little bit of a white knight situation.
And such a different perspective.
Well, I might add that if you want an all-female Hamlet, you're going to need some more women in the cast. And Lane looks again to the other Mavens.
Oh, no. I would never.
Terrible stage fright. Terrible.
I mostly do backstage work.
I mean, it would be such an interesting direction, though, wouldn't it? Oh, Lane, excellently. I'll be perfectly honest. I would like to hear you read. I mean, I know Lane is a very accomplished Broadway actress, but I mean, I would love to have the rest of you read for parts, just to make sure, you know, that we've got like the right people. I don't want another Esther situation on my hands, you know.
Well, I suppose as long as you could manage to fire Liam, you'd get your all-female cast.
Fire Liam?
Well, he can't be in the show because it's an all-female cast.
Oh, I suppose that's right. I'll talk to him. He can be our one man.
I'm sure he'd look lovely in drag.
Oh, that's an idea. Oh, I have so many plans to do. Oh, I will make so many plans. Okay, don't tell Liam yet because I have to figure out how I'm going to break it to him, because I'm pretty sure he thought he would be stepping into the role of Hamlet if something happened to Killigan, but I just can't. It just wouldn't work that way. No, this is the way we're going. Okay, yes, absolutely. Okay. Very tragic about Killigan. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. I'm feeling all of my feelings. Oh, yes. I'll talk to you later.
If
Thank you.
Wendy's going to be playing Claudius, then Liam is clearly going to be playing Ophelia.
Oh, well, that's an
that's
idea.
Fun.
That's an interesting twist. Oh, Lane, do you have a thing for Liam? That's so cute.
You saucy minx.
Listen.
I didn't know.
Sometimes.
Eddi-Rue is just smiling so big.
You always put some of the biggest talent in some of the most cameo roles, let's say.
I love this so much. Is that a clue, though, by the way, that Liam would have taken over the role or assumed?
No. In fact, some of these things that we have in here aren't clues.
Damn it.
I know. I'm just gonna delete them, but it's not because I don't.
Delete the ones that aren't clues, because yeah. Well, I would love to get a clue.
I would love for you to get a clue.
We've all been cast in the show.
No. You've been cast in
the other people have to audition.
And we'll just politely not show. Yeah, I think we can confirm that Mabel's, she's good. She's not our person of interest.
Yeah, I just want to get more information about the director specifically. Oh no, I don't know. We have something about the director. We have something about Demeter, and Liam would be an interesting person to talk to, and Patrice would be an interesting. We haven't really talked to Patrice.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the person that I want to go and sort of like meddle with a little bit, just sort of like get her perspective and needle her. Maybe she's drunk by now, so maybe I can just get. Yeah, I don't know. I think I want to walk up to Patrice, who is everybody is there like, I imagine I've like pulled her. I'm like asking questions. I'm sorry. Like, let's pull her away from the cops after she gave her statement or something, and just sort of like check in with Patrice just to say like, how are you doing? And I guess there's a possibility. Maybe I'll share the information that there's a possibility that she'll get her all-female Hamlet now.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So you can pull her. So we can go to the dressing room. And like we'll just like have you all secluded into the dressing room, of this remade church. Yeah. So
maybe I'll
Patrice,
pull out my glass chess set, and we can be playing chess while we have this conversation.
Oh, I love it. So go ahead and roll to meddle, and then have this conversation.
And because it's with my chess set, I get advantage.
Damn straight you do.
So I'm
and is everybody there too? Or did you all come with?
Yeah, I think we're going to leave Mabel. We've kind of lifted her spirits, given her a thing to focus on. She's good. We've cleared her. Yeah, I think we need to go out. I want to eavesdrop on people.
I rolled a 9.
Oh.
And I think that, so as we're talking, I'm just sort of like, we're just sort of playing chess or whatever as we pass the time and wait. And I just sort of ask her, so Patrice, obviously the show must go on. Obviously.
Obviously. Yes, obviously.
It's, but I overheard there's a potential for maybe an all-female version of Hamlet now.
Oh, no. That ship has sailed, unfortunately. Mabel did not believe in my vision. She very rarely does. I did write a play, I wrote a play that I thought would be great for her introduction into this theater, and she turned it down.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's certainly annoying. You should share it with us. Is that our clue, by the way?
That is your clue.
That is our clue. Lovely.
It had so many parts for women. I mean, that's the thing. Under Jones's leadership, it was Helen's theater, but Jones directed everything. I never got a chance to shine. I assumed that when Mabel took over, I would have more of an opportunity here, but she seems just as sort of shot in her ways as her mother was before her, and just wants Jones to run things. I swear.
Well, I wonder who'll be running it now, because surely Mabel, this is such a black mark on the theater. Perhaps it'll have to, maybe even Mabel won't survive it.
That would certainly make Jones happy. I know that he was quite upset when he didn't get the theater outright from Helen. They had an affair going on for many years, don't you know? Rumors only, but it just seemed quite possible.
Wow, that's quite that's huh. And I think I just sort of like take a sip of my wine and refill hers.
And that will be another clue for your advantage.
That another clue?
Yes.
Oh,
because I wanted
so
to give you an extra one.
Oh, and it's so
In
nice
this
of you.
moment. I know, I'm so
Because
nice.
you love us.
I'm so nice.
So generous.
But nobody knew about this relationship, of course. It was all very secret, and nobody wanted to talk about it because it was, of course, too inappropriate.
Sure. Well, she's dead now, so I suppose.
You think that would stop Jones?
Oh.
This wine is so good.
Oh, thanks. I found it. Wow, a little necrophilia. Okay, I guess that's a conversation.
As Bebe, Doris, and Lane, you all are sort of like eavesdropping on this in the in the dressing room. You do notice that there's this like loose floorboard underneath your foot. Perhaps Bebe, like you're the one who's like making all the swishy sound, and so then all of a sudden you hear like a squeak squeak underneath your foot, and you look down and it is a loose floorboard.
Okay, how many people are in the dressing room?
It's just you four and Patrice, who is shwasted.
Who's shwasted? Okay, I'm just going to pretend one of my gibbets fell off of my croc, so I'm going to bend down to put that back on.
Your 1997 Crocs?
Yeah, my 1997 Crocs. Or some slides. We can go with some slides and socks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The classics. Eventually, I will upgrade to the pump-up shoes. But for now, we're going to bend down to fix my shoe.
Fantastic. As you sort of bend down, and maybe Lane and Doris, you're sort of seeing this too, as Eddi-Rue is just sort of chuckling with Patrice. You pull out this box that has been hidden there, and when you open it, it's a box of programs from the theater going back hundreds of years, but several of them seem to have like bloody handprints and fingerprints on them. And it's as you're sort of holding this box up to your friends and just sort of like this horror.
Dungeons and Drama Nerds is produced by Todd Bryan Backus, Percival Hornak, and Nicholas Orvis, and is mixed and edited by Anthony Sertel Dean. Our Brindlewood Bay campaign features Christopher Diercksen as Eddi-Rue Dubois, Ben Ferber as Lane Walther, Kory Flores as Bebe Garcia, Shannon Wade as Doris Mackowiak, and our keeper C. Meaker. If you'd like to help us continue exploring the intersection of theater and tabletop role-playing games, consider leaving us a review on your podcast app of choice or supporting us, and getting access to our patron-only bonus content at patreon.com/dungeonsanddramanerds. You can find our social media and website links, including our cast bios, at the link tree in our show notes. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode of Dungeons and Drama Nerds.